Hi everyone. So after losing 135 pounds, and yes, I still have more to lose, but after losing so much and now being overweight, not obese, first time in more than 40 years, and enjoying my diet, wanting to keep it up, understanding that it takes a lot of vigilance once I get to maintenance, and knowing exactly what I need to do. Um, I just thought, from a suggestion from somebody I know and love very much, I wanted to tell you about 8 core rules that I have when it comes to, with my high carb diet, what I like to, what I have learned that I didn't either know or didn't apply before. And so I will start with number one. The first core rule is hold on a second. Stop all or nothing dieting. Now, usually when I start off, I'm trying to keep it a little more. Okay, I want to be really careful, but I'm going to keep it more, you know, reasonable and everything. And then the weight loss starts getting harder. I hit a stall and I'm like, oh, well, I could fast for a bunch of days. I could only do it for so long, but when you're a little heavier, it's a little easier. But I can do one meal a day. I can do only eat potatoes, or only eat rice, or only eat fruit, or um, you know name your whatever the extreme is. The all or nothing sort of, I'm going to have all of this, and I'm going to do only have this, and I'm only going to do, and it's like, what am I learning? Well, I'm not learning how to keep it off. I'm learning how to lose weight, but not any strategies for, what's an enjoyable, sustainable, healthy way to keep eating once I'm in maintenance. So, yeah, although I think about it from time to time, and I have to, get myself, like, quit thinking that way. Don't do the all or nothing. That's what got me into problems, because, the OMAD got me into, not everybody's going to have this happen, but it did happen to me, got me into binging. The too much fasting between that and very long fasts, sometimes trying to break through a plateau, when that was the kind of the wrong thing to do. I needed to increase my calories for a little bit, live in maintenance for a while, and then try to drop them. It wasn't I wasn't using very good strategies, and I just let me just keep digging in and digging in and digging in, and I got nowhere. I just spun my wheels, and so yeah, I have to analyze it and look back at it, and even have a second pair of eyes on it. That's always a good thing to have too. And so nowadays I have somebody who is my second pair of eyes that go, no, wait a minute. What you need to do is this. And I'm like, oh, didn't think of that before. And yeah, it's amazing how I've never had a stall for longer than 9 days. Because I get the help that I need to keep going and not do stupid all or nothing things. Although I mostly know that there, when you're just, your emotions are running high, sometimes I don't make the best decisions. And so yeah, maybe have somebody who can talk some sense into you. I don't know, but for me anyway, that's where it's been for me. The second one is learn to eat for satiety. Eat satiating foods. At least the vast majority of the time. Yes, of course, I have a cheat meal. Pretty much every week I will have a meal that is, it's not what I'm going to eat most of the time, but I have little strategies for that so I don't overdo it. But it's like I used to be like, oh, well, I'll just have this croissant, and I'll make that my meal. Okay, well, that can work occasionally, but it's more like a cheat meal kind of a thing. But um, occasionally, something like that can maybe work occasionally, but it's not going to satiate very well. And so when I'm hungry and it's like the middle of the afternoon, and that's another one is having, what is your low calorie um, go to when it's the middle of the afternoon and you're trying to wait until dinner and you're just like, I just want to eat the wallpaper. Usually I have things that are satiating if I don't have to worry about that. But once in a while, it's like, I'm just really hungry right now. Sometimes, you have to kind of, eat a little bit less than you would really like to eat. Sometimes you're a little more hungry than you really would like to be. And so for me, I have sliced cucumber and tomato and apple cider vinegar and some dill and some salt and pepper. And so I have a little tomato and cucumber salad, and that will get me through until dinner. So sometimes, that's the thing is what's your satiating foods that are not very many calories that'll get you by. Some people have a little bit of fruit, some, whatever it is. But some things, some people find extremely satiating. Some people find oatmeal to be very satiating. I tend to get more hungry, even if I eat Greek yogurt with it and berries, and even if I've had nuts with it, I still get hungry awfully quick. So for me, that one doesn't work. I mean, everybody has to figure out what as you go along, you'll go, this really filled me up. This didn't fill me up quite so much. Or like, this is fine if I eat it with this, but if I eat it alone, it's not as good. So yeah, work on that. And of course, I'm going to say this again, whole and minimally processed foods are going to be your most satiating because they're the most nutrient dense. They have the most vitamins and minerals. They haven't been, extracted from it and give you less food value for your calories. Your body wants the nutrients. The calories will come with those nutrients, but you can have, the ultra processed foods are known for the most part being something that they aren't nutrient dense. They have a lot of nutrients stripped from them. And so there are a lot of calories and they don't have a lot of nutrients, and your body is still going, but I don't have enough, what is it, vitamin C or vitamin D or vitamin E or magnesium or potassium or zinc or whatever it is that your body is still searching for. So find satiating foods. That's the second one. The third one is when the going gets tough, remember my why. Why am I losing weight? For me, it's because my mobility was starting to slip and it was getting a little scary. And I don't want to, have to rely on other people. If I want to be able to be independent. So that one is a really big one. It's a little scary. It scares me a little bit to think about that, what could happen. So that was my biggest why. There are other reasons, but they were all pretty much health related. So yeah, that's my why. Everybody has their why. A very good, very strong why can help you get through some of the worst. There are times when you're just like, why can't I get this to work? And like I said, I have a health coach, so I haven't had him the whole time. I've had him since late August of last year. So I went basically 8 months myself, and I had to remember my whys when I was going through a really rough time. From about May and June were the worst for me, and then I started to find a way to lose weight. I found my health coach's YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could try this, and it started to work, and I started losing weight some, and yeah. But I had to really go, I'm not giving up. I will figure this out yet. And I did eventually figure it out. And that was get a health coach. But that was for me. Everybody has their, what will work for them. Not everybody has as much to lose as I had to lose. And I still have 20, 30 pounds to go. But anyway, so yeah, that's a big one. And I know it's a mind thing. It's like, oh, it's not telling me what exact foods, but it's changing your life. Being willing to change your habits, your eating habits and your fitness habits to keep it off, because your why is so important that I just don't want to go back. I mean, nobody wants to go back, but I'm like, I'll do what it takes, and that's doing it right in order to keep the weight off. The fourth one is I have to be at a calorie deficit. Sorry, I know that's a bummer of really seriously, this calorie deficit thing. Can I just, eat, and I'm sure I'll stay below the calories, or, I'll just, if I have this kind of food, it's supposed to raise my metabolism so I can have as much as I want. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, yeah, some foods, your carbohydrates, if they're, real whole food, minimally processed type carbohydrates and simple sugars, like your sucrose, can, in a way, raise metabolism, but not above what your calorie needs are. You eat above that, I will anyway, I will gain weight. So yes, I keep track of what I have, so I know I'm in a deficit. It's not like, oh, I must have exactly these many calories here and many calories, but it's okay. I got to stay within a range, and generally speaking, I do. If I go slightly over, it's going to be on whole foods, and the end of the world has not come. If I do, I have rarely ever cheated. Since I was my health coach, I think I've only had something that was off plan for me to have at the time, one time, because I'm satisfied and I'm able to stay disciplined and motivated enough. But I did have brownies once in very early December, and I think I probably had 300 calories of those late at night. It wasn't the best deal. But the thing is that it was like, okay, so I'm not going to lose weight tomorrow. Fine. There's, I just start over. I get back on the horse. In the morning, I'm not going to eat anymore. I'm going to, it's done. I got it out of my system and all of that. But hold on a second here. The main thing is that I know that if I just go back to my calorie deficit and eating the right thing, I'm going to be fine. There's no, oh, well, let me just, I blew it, I might as well just blow it the rest of the weekend or whatever like that. There's nothing like that. It's like, okay, fine. So I'll call that a cheat, and, I will just go back on the horse. I'm not going to be like, oh, I better fast the next day. No, I don't go back to all or nothing. That's not how it goes. So yeah, as boring as that sounds, as old-fashioned as it sounds, I do have to be in a calorie deficit sometimes, and I'll just state this, and be truthful. Sometimes it's more of a deficit than you think. Sometimes every people like me don't get to eat quite as much as we think we get to eat to lose weight. But there's always ways of eating in a smart way so that you can be satiated and not be hungry all the time. So that's number 4. The 5th core principle or rule is that a quality food makes a difference. Boy, can I tell you that. I can eat at the moment, and I don't eat large amounts of calories at the moment. It's pretty low calorie that I eat. But at the moment, I can eat a couple hundred calories more as long as they're more clean, more whole, minimally processed types of foods. If I keep it really clean, I can lose weight on a couple hundred calories more than if I'm eating things that are more junky. There's just something about holding on to weight, and it doesn't work as well for my metabolism. The higher real true carbs, and including some sucrose or honey and things like that. But your fruits and your nice starches. I'm not talking about bread aisle bread, by the way. I'm talking about real sourdough. The ingredients are just a few ingredients, not very many. But it really does make a difference as far as how your body responds to it. And quite frankly, I can eat just a little bit more with clean calories. It's true. And also my metabolism is in a better place. I don't have the food noise problems that I used to. And it doesn't mean I never eat ultra processed foods ever. They're usually like barely kind of that, but like sometimes I'll have some tortilla chips and some with my guacamole. The guacamole is not the ultra processed. The tortilla chips are kind of not, but sort of along that line. Sometimes I'll have something, whatever. I'll have Cheeto or two or something, but I don't even like Cheetos anymore. But there might be something that I have. It's not the end of the world on for a cheat meal or something like that, or whatever. But anyway, it makes a big difference as far as how well I can lose weight. The sixth core principle is I need to eat a diet that I can stick with. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't, I tweak it from time to time. This is working better, that's not working better. I'm seeing what foods work best for me, and sometimes some will work better for me at other times and not for other times. But it's can I sustain this? Am I learning how to keep the weight off? That's really important. And so, yeah, I don't want something that's like, oh, no, if I could just get through this, then I won't have to eat this way anymore. It's like, no, I eat this way. I will eat more calories someday eating this way. But I like what I eat. It's enjoyable. I usually start off a normal day for me would be something like I start off with a coffee with fruit, and my coffee has some milk and some honey in it. If it's a cooler day, something like that, I might have a little teeny bit of protein with it, protein rich, like maybe a couple tablespoons of cottage cheese or a boiled egg, or something like that. My lunches are often something like some cottage cheese or some yogurt with some jam, something like that, or a Fage black cherry yogurt or something like that. And I might have some plantain chips with it. I'll have some fruit with it. I might have some cucumber tomato salad, something like that. I usually just have the 3 meals. I don't generally snack between unless it's something really small and I'm like particularly hungry. For dinner, I might have some eggs, or I might have some chicken or something like that. I might have some vegetables with it and some fruit. That's a normal way, the normal types of things that I eat. I might, sometimes have a baked sweet potato with some Greek yogurt on top, something like that, in the middle of the for my lunch or something like that. Or I might have a sweet potato hash with some peppers and some onions for breakfast instead of some fruit. And it just depends. But yeah, those are the kinds of ways I just like to eat that way. It's enjoyable. Once in a while I'll have a sugarcane type sweetened soda, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, as something to have in the afternoon, in place of some fruit or something. Once in a while I'll have some fruit at night, and I'll have a couple tablespoons of ice cream to go with it if I have enough fat calories saved to do it. And it's the kinds of things that it's not huge amounts of food right now. Of course, it's never going to be huge amounts of food, but I'll have more eventually. But it's enjoyable way to eat. I can see myself eating like this. It's most days. I have cheat meal days. But anyway, so that's that principle. And the other thing is, don't overdo it or the body will rebel. Go too low for too long and your body will rebel. Especially if you go low and then you try to get a whole bunch of exercise in with it, and the body's like, wah, 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 wah. No, it doesn't like it. So you have to kind of figure out a good balance of exercise and amount of calories, and it's a little bit of a trial and error type of thing. And don't go lower than you need to go on calories. Really, that's not a good idea at all. And at times I take I do maintenance for a week or two, and it helps a lot. So yeah, if I overdo it, I always regret it because my body says, I'm not losing weight. I'm in too much stress. Thank you. The last one, number 8, is sometimes I have to gain weight to lose weight. And I don't mean gain 5, 10 pounds. That's not what I mean. I mean, okay, so sometimes I have a bigger cheat meal or a bigger, a day when I'm just gonna, I know it's gonna be a longer kind of a, you know, I'm over somebody's house and we're gonna have appetizers and then we're gonna have dinner and later on we're gonna have dessert and all that. And I allow myself to have, more things that are a little more calorically dense and all that kind of thing. And I know that I am going to gain, at least half a pound, maybe a pound, could be as much as a pound and a half. And it's like, okay, but that raises the metabolism to a certain point that if I drop the calories the next few days, I tend to lose really well. And then, I start to actually get down from where I was at. So sometimes, or sometimes I'll have a refeed day, and I will have a fair amount of calories. I mean, not stuffing in the calories, not more than I'm hungry for, but I will have more calories. 300 to 500 calories more maybe, and sometimes I will gain weight, and then I will reduce the calories, and the weight will come off. Generally speaking, that is a really good strategy. And sometimes I have to have. I will go on I went on this trip to New York. I had 5 days when I had I had a dinner. I ate what I wanted. And it was starchy and fatty and whatnot, but I kept it to one cheat meal a day. And I had coffee. I had like a smoothie, a fruit smoothie, maybe things like that. Coffee, of course, had milk and some sugar in it, things like that. But so yeah, I gained 1.5 pounds in 5 days. And then I came home and I promptly lost the most I've ever lost, which was 7.3 pounds. Now, that's something I don't want to do all the time, but it worked. In an instance where my weight loss was kind of slowing. So yeah, that is my 8th one. Now here's a bonus one, which is sometimes you're like, but I've done everything, absolutely everything, and I don't know what else to do. And sometimes if you get a second pair of eyes from somebody who knows what they're doing, like a health coach, they can point out things that you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Really, is that what the problem is? I didn't even think of that, And so sometimes if you're really stuck, consider the services of a health coach. Sometimes they can give you, consulting for one or two phone calls. Sometimes stay with them for a couple of months. They can give you a lot of advice. But that's up to you whether you want to or not. I will link my health coach's YouTube channel in the description where you can get hold of him if you are interested. And besides that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, especially this longer video. You have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.